Hello friends and fellow gamers, MKxJUMP here, and this week we have a brand new event for Idle Heroes. We've got Card Clash Evolution with some extra stuff thrown in, which is probably going to be really weird, because free-to-play players, I'll be advising you to do one thing, and spenders either do the same thing free-to-play players are doing and don't spend, or you'll have your own different route that you guys can take. Also, I think today's advice is pretty much going to define what Card Clash is going to look like for most free-to-play players moving forwards. Based on what we've had in the last few weeks, we can definitely look at this event differently than how we have in the past. Now, before we jump into this week's event, let me remind you, if you need help with your Idle Heroes account, I do one-to-one advice on a Tuesday live on my Twitch channel. To get access to that, all you need to do is join us on Twitch and make sure you're in our Discord and read the different ways to be able to sign up for an account review. One easy way in is to back me on Patreon, so if you're interested in supporting the channel and getting account reviews in return, go ahead and click the link up there for more information. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's event for Idle Heroes. So, starting off, every day for logging in, you are going to get yourself 7 enchanted cards. This will be 49 across the week, and it's really important that you claim these to get the most out of the Card Clash Evolution. So be sure to log in every single day. Now, if we look at the value packages for this week, these are giving gems and a number of enchanted cards proportional to how much you're willing to spend. This may be worth picking up if you want to go deeper into the event, and you definitely will need to spend Starry Gems to get these extended ones as well. So I'll be explaining that for you guys a little later on, but definitely spenders will be needing Contract Starry Gems this week if you want to push the most you can for this week's event. Now, we have the Card Clash Evolution here. This is where you use these cards to draw out heroes, and you'll use them in some combination to improve your damage. When you've used 3 cards, you'll get a buff, which will buff the certain heroes here. So, for example, this is going to buff Forest, Fortress, and Light heroes. So you can see that Olivia and that Seer will be buffed. You don't have to use these straight away. My advice would be to pull out all your tickets you can and keep the strongest team, buff that up as much as possible, and hopefully that'll have you clear the boss. Go ahead and check out some of my videos where I'm manually doing the Card Clash Evolution on my accounts. It'll hopefully help you out. So just search Card Clash MKxJUMP and you should be able to find a guide of me doing this. Also in Card Clash, for how much progress you make, you'll get additional tickets here in the challenge mode where you want to basically create the best combination you can to hurt this boss. The number of damage you do will then put you on the illusion leaderboard, and you'll get a certain number of rewards. Just taking part is going to be 1,000 gems, which is really nice, but also depending on if you can get into the top 100 or not, you get some additional bonuses as well. Now, if we look to this week as well, we have a Soul Awakening Gala giving Awakening privileges, which means for every Awakened that you choose to do this week, you will get points depending on the Awakened's level. Those points will accumulate, and you'll be able to get different rewards. 100 is going to get you an Artifact chest or a Glorious Flag chest with some relics. If you get to 150, which is pretty good, you're going to get yourself an Essence Sublimation Selection chest. Ideally, I'd rather choose this over Spiritual Essence. 300 is the main cutoff point. This is where usually people, if they're going to do this, would want to push to, as this does get you Sublimation and a Core chest, and I'd only be doing this if I was getting to a 300 point. And finally, 600 you could push to if you want to, but that's just giving Destiny materials. And for the amount of resources you invest here, I actually don't think it's worth just pushing all the way up to Destiny. Honestly, I'd go to 300 and stop, or to be honest, I probably wouldn't do Awakens so much anymore. I don't think this is worth your Contract Starry Gems. If you look at events we've had in the past, like Black Friday, Thanksgiving, and there will be more big events like that in the future, it's actually better to use your Contract Starry Gems in the value packs to extend those particular events. It'll get you treasure train tickets and additional bonuses, which will get you extended rewards far better than you get for doing Awakens. This is one of the reasons the prices in the auction house are dead awkward at the moment, is because less and less people are doing these Awakening privilege galas, which means that less and less good hero copies are entering the auction house, and scarcity increases the prices. So you can either do your bit and blow some Contract Starry Gems on here and try and awaken some heroes, but most of you, I don't actually recommend you do this, even if you're a free-to-play player. It costs about 3,500 Contract Starry Gems. That's assuming you're destroying your heroes for Contract Starry Gems as well, so that you can do more. One nice thing, though, is you can use the bound stone. So if you look at my Melissa Awakened, for example, she has this bound symbol, and that's because I used a B+ bound stone on her. Those bound stones do actually work in the Soul Awakening Gala. So if you are hoping to get the Awakening privileges up and actually just do it with bound stuff, that's totally fine. That might be one justifiable reason to go in on this, because you'll actually get a lot of free points just from doing B+, for example, they'll get 14 points straight away. So if you've got lots of stuff saved up from Black Friday and you weren't immediately spending it, then yeah, you could go ahead and actually push this. Other than that, I probably wouldn't be pushing this with your Contract Starry Gems. Next, we've got the Catch the Troublemaker, which is basically a mini game where you can get yourself Contract Starry Gems. One awkward thing is this is dependent on the level you've reached in campaign. So it's a bit annoying. Last time they really fixed this in a way that I really liked, where it was proportional to the Realms Gate progress you've made. So people who were less than level 130 could actually get themselves some Contract Starry Gems. But unfortunately, if your account is less than level 130, you will not be able to make the campaign progress necessary to be able to unlock the levels in the Catch the Penny Troublemaker. To make matters worse, this is a mini game, so you have to go ahead and play by clicking on these pennies. The idea here is to try and accumulate the best combo you can by only clicking the blue ones. Although it's random, you can see I only got one blue one there, and it's very, very slow with how much it wants to give you them. Sometimes you can be really unlucky and have pretty much only ghosts and the red ones show up. You just have to go ahead and try again and hope you get lucky on the next one. So there is an RNG element to this, and it can be extremely tedious. But once you get to a point where you're able to hit this combo, lots of them come out, and just make sure you're hitting the blues, and you will actually get more points depending on how many hits you do. And you should be able to get a decent number of points here that should get you to a place where you're able to get enough points to satisfy the game mode. I got 82 points here. I only needed 20 points to get to the next stage. I actually think DH Games have decided to make this easier. I remember when I played it the first time, it was actually significantly more challenging. So I think they've patched this and made it easier for us to do this, which is a good thing, because it was actually punishing people who, for example, maybe they were dexterously challenged, people with arthritis, or people who, only play this game because it's an idle game and you don't have to control your characters. So, yeah, a bit weird that they had this be extremely difficult, so that people who are like dexterously challenged wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now, which is clicking extremely quickly on all these blues. One thing you don't want to do is hit these ghosts, as that breaks your combo, so just bear that in mind. You don't get any points for that either. But yeah, basically you just want to go ahead and click through, get all this, and claim these Contract Starry Gems. Every player over level 130 who's made progress in campaign should be able to pick up all the Contract Starry Gems for this week, which is pretty nice. So let's go back to the Card Clash of Illusion real quick, and you can see the rewards you get from here are proportional to the number of stages that you clear. The first major point here is Stage 5. This is going to get you 5 Glorious Treasury coins. Those Glorious Treasury coins can be spent here in the Glorious Treasury. The best pick here is typically to go for Stellar Shards, but you might want to look around at the other stuff just in case. But typically, Stellar Shards are the best thing to grab. Maybe you might want to get an artifact if you can get 10 of them. That can sometimes be a good idea, especially if you don't yet have a Melodic Strings. And once you've spent 10, you will unlock Treasury 3, where you can start buying things like Sublimation and Cores. Treasury 5 and Treasury 4 will unlock after 40 coins have been spent, and this gets you Destiny materials. This is extremely difficult to get to if you're free to play, so I would argue it's not worth super pushing. And Treasury 6 is where you get the Life Soul stuff, but only that is available at 100 coins spent. So we'll be breaking that down in a second to show spenders how to get to this level. But let's just quick talk about free-to-play players. In the Card Clash of Illusion, you do get Stellar Shards for reaching Stage 5, and Stage 5 is relatively easy to do, with 49 of your tickets, plus the 6,000 gems you can spend here, which gets you 60 additional tickets. That takes you to 109, which should be more than enough tickets to get Stage 5 cleared. However, if you want to get up to Stage 7, you will need to spend Starry Gemish items, and this is where you'll be spending Contract Starry Gems. This is one of the reasons that DH Games give us 600 Contract Starry Gems for free this week. However, my argument here would be, if you're a free-to-play player, pushing up just to get another bunch of Stellar Shards, which is exactly what you'd get here in the Glorious Treasury, is probably not worth it. I would personally save those Contract Starry Gems for bigger events. If you've been keeping up with my Contract Starry Gem free-to-play account, you'll see that me using Contract Starry Gems to max events is still capable of getting me really good rewards. So that should demonstrate to you guys that saving Contract Starry Gems for bigger events is much better than going in on stuff like Card Clash of Illusion if you're free to play. Not to mention that if you want to extend even further, you'll have to spend Contract Starry Gems here in these value packs. And yes, that can get you stuff like Sublimation, but given how good events like Black Friday, Thanksgiving, and potentially Christmas, New Year, and all the other events that are yet to come in 2025, given how good those events are probably going to be, it's extremely unlikely that it's good value to spend your 600 Contract Starry Gems here in the Card Clash of Illusion. So my advice would be to free-to-play players, just get to Stage 5 by spending gems, enjoy the Stellar Shards that you get from the Glorious Treasury, and then move on with the week. Don't bother doing the Awakens, just save your Contract Starry Gems, and don't bother buying the value packs or the Card Clash 600. Some nice stuff that you can achieve this week as well comes from the Starlight Melody. This is giving you points depending on how many enchanted cards you use or how many hero souls you decide to awaken. You get 7 points for every awaken you do, which is actually higher than normal, and you also get 3 points for every enchanted card. If you just use 100 enchanted cards, that'll still get you to 300 points, which is enough to get you this box here, 1 of this box here, and 3 of this starting box. That's going to get you Stellar Shards, Spiritual Essence, and you even get Transcendence Hero copy selection chests. So a really nice way to get yourself copies of Transcendence Heroes from these chests, and also some minor resources like Master's Toolboxes, which can really help out a budget account. Honestly, a nice little bit of extra reward thrown in for this week for the majority of players. However, you can see there's a ×2, ×4, and ×6 multiplier, and that's going to be coming from the Moonlight Gift. For every $100 you spend this week, you will unlock 1 of those multipliers. The first time going through here as well is going to get you 50 enchanted cards, which will help you in the card clash of illusion. The next 100 does the same thing, getting you another additional 50, but also you get an artifact chest here, which contains the new artifact, Scissors of Conviction, which are pretty cool. These scissors are capable of, when upgraded, giving you the buffs opponents have, which is extremely useful in specifically Star Expedition, where the boss does get some insane damage buffs, so it's extremely helpful to give that to your team instead. And finally, if you go up to $300 spent, you'll get yourself an Origin Artifact Selection chest, 1,000 Prism Starry Gems, and the ×6 multiplier. The goal here then would be to get yourself the top 1,500 points you can, which would be pretty much by maxing Card Clash of Illusion. You can do that with the enchanted cards alone. My advice for that would be to go to the value packs, buy these first 2 here, that's $200, and then if you want to, you can go to the Florist Picnic for this additional package, which is $100. That's going to get you some Prism Starry Gems, treasure coupons, Cause of Transcendence, and additional Contract Starry Gems here as well. So what's nice about this then is that's going to get you the $300 for the Moonlight Gift, which gets you that ×6 multiplier. By doing that, you will get enough cards as well to get to the 1,500 points without doing Awakens, which means you don't have to waste Contract Starry Gems on Awakens. Instead, you'll want to spend your Contract Starry Gems here on the enchanted cards that you need to finish off the event. You might not even have to buy all of these either, because you will have bought these first 2 value packs, which are giving 40 each. The goal for spenders that do that would be to get to stage 20 in the card clash. This would get you 80 Glorious Treasury coins from here, along with an additional 60 from the Starlight Melody, because you get 10 for 1,500 and you're multiplying it by 6. Also, with the 6 times multiplier, you get this package 3 times, which could be 3 Origin Artifact Selection chests, which combines with the 1 you get for spending $300, giving you 4, which is enough to make a Deific Artifact to Splendid, or you can go with this Mysterious Artifact Selection chest here. However, this doesn't contain the scissors, which I think is a huge oversight by DH Games, so I think it's far less appealing and you'd be much better served going for the Origin Artifact chest. Not to mention it's got 2 Orange Treasure Selection chests and a pink as well, giving you even better rewards for this week. What's also really nice about that is you get loads of these chests that have Stellar Shards and Spiritual Essence, and I know for a lot of players who are looking to make progress and make Destiny heroes, Spiritual Essence can often be a bottleneck. So all of the rewards here are really helpful for anyone trying to build Destiny heroes on their account. Not to mention that all those Glorious Treasury coins you have will total 140, and considering that Treasury 5 unlocks at 60, you can buy a ton of Destiny materials from here. It's actually an equivalent of 1.2 million Scattered Spiritbane Shards or Aurora Gems. And then Treasury 6 will unlock at 100, which means you can buy from here 4 times with the final 40, which means you can get yourself some nice Star Souls for your heroes, which you can use in the future once you have a Nirvana hero. So all in all, for $300, that's actually really, really good, because it's getting you opportunities to get sublimation, it's getting you opportunities to get Destiny materials, it's getting lifestyle stuff. All this stuff is essential to any spender wanting to build Destiny heroes, which is pretty much every spender in the game. And enhancing them and getting all this late game stuff as well can be really, really helpful. So if you're making your way up to Nirvana, or you've just reached Nirvana, any opportunity for Star Souls, Destiny materials, and sublimation for your heroes is always welcome. So basically, the best 2 ways to approach this week's event are to spend nothing and just go ahead and approach this event completely aiming for stage 5, use 6,000 gems, be a free-to-play player, and just pick up some Stellar Shards from the Glorious Treasury, which is really nice for free-to-play players. Or you just go ahead and go all in, spend $300, maximize your reward progress here, and that's also really good. You might be tempted to spend only $200, but that's only going to get you 2 lifestyle items. Maybe that's fine. Maybe you're an earlier whale that doesn't need tons of lifestars, so $200 is an okay investment. But for anyone that's got sunken cost fallacy, once you've spent $200, having to only spend $100 for 2 additional lifestars can be extremely tempting, not to mention all the additional bonuses you'll also be getting from the Starlight Melody here. So let me know in the comment section which of those options you're going to choose. I know the majority of you are probably just going to approach this event free to play, saving those Contract Starry Gems for a bigger event like Christmas, which is coming soon. Now, one final thing for this week is the Star Soul regression. This allows you to get rid of specifically the cat Star Soul if you already have it, and in exchange get loads of this currency. Probably not a great idea, unless of course you really don't like using the Inquiring Mind, but it is still a fantastic Star Soul to have because it's able to buff your heroes. So if that's something you own, you could go ahead and regress it and get the following currencies here, which can then be exchanged in the shop for equivalent items. Sadly though, it doesn't contain the new Star Soul thing which recently came out, so I don't know if this is 100% worth it, and it's a shame it's only the cat one. Maybe this is going to be something they repeat so that you can switch your Star Souls around if you regret your decisions, because I know there's a lot of people that would like to get rid of the Sacred Flame. So hopefully DH Games bring that in as a regression, because some people did grab that by mistake and actually may prefer to get the cat for themselves. So it's unfortunate that they're asking you to regress the best one, unless they've nerfed this secretly, and I'm not sure. I'll let you know if that's actually the case, but it seems pretty normal to me, and it seems like it still does everything it's supposed to do, which makes it good. For example, it still completely buffs your highest attack hero, so that stuff here is completely normal. And also this last one, when the battle starts at each round, you also increase your energy and all damage dealt. So that's still fine and very, very strong. So I don't actually think you would want to regress the cat Star Soul here. However, if they do decide to bring this back for other Star Souls, this can be potentially really, really good. If you don't know what Star Souls are, that's completely fine. You don't have to worry about this. Anyway, next week we have the Christmas event. It's a bit early for Christmas, but it's because Christmas falls on a Wednesday, so we'll be getting the event the week that Wednesday is going to land, which is actually going to be next week. And there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. We got ourselves Norton Hague being made into a Transcendence hero, and with the Christmas event coming, that should hopefully bring a lot of fantastic rewards. So hopefully you guys have scrolls saved and you're excited like I am for what's going to potentially be a really big Christmas event. So make sure you stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and I will be bringing you a breakdown for that Christmas event as soon as I can next week, and hopefully you can get yourself something really, really good from there. So make sure you subscribe to catch that video and don't miss everything you need to do for the week that's yet to come. Either way, guys, make sure you always subscribe, catch these videos before you do anything in the week for Idle Heroes, and best of luck with the event ahead. And remember, the best thing you can do this week is save your Contract Starry Gems, because Christmas could potentially bring some really big rewards. I'll see you next time, folks. Have an amazing week, and as always, happy idling.